Senator Kajuang created an uproar on social media platforms after he clearly states ODM is not going to support William Ruto. Welcome back to our channel. Press the subscribe button for more news bulletins on Royal News, the channel where you get all your trending politics. Can we listen to Senator Kajwang's prediction with what will happen to the Luo community if they support William Ruto? Well, he clearly defines the history where Raila Odinga supported Moi, and instead of Moi returning a favor, he chose to support none other than President former Uhuru Kenyatta, which prompted Raila to support Kibaki with an expectation of the nusu mkate, of course, which never came through. Now, Kajuang states clearly that this is exactly what is going to happen to ODM if they decide to support William Ruto. Do you think the predictions are actually true, where history repeats itself and in 2032, he will not return the favor and rather choose to support somebody else? Can we listen to Kajwang's prediction?
You see, it will be 35 years. For the last 35 years, our community has always had a presidential candidate. From 1992, Jaramogi, all the way to the last election. This could be the first election where our community does not have a candidate. I'm not saying it is going to be, I'm saying it could be the first election where our community does not have a candidate.
Now, what Senator Kajuang is saying is actually correct, because Luo has always been known to be in the opposition, and all the way they provide a presidential candidate. So true, this will be the first time that Nyanza will not provide a presidential candidate simply because Raila Odinga merged forces with William Ruto, creating the broad-based alliance.
The time that we didn't have a candidate as a community was in the year 2002 when Raila Odinga supported Moi Kibaki. And for those who are there, our support for Moi Kibaki was an accident. And let me clarify why it was an accident. Raila took his party for the sake of national unity and merged with KANU. Mpaka watu wakasema, jogoo imemeza tingatinga. The Secretary General of KANU, he became the Minister of Energy. Adua Witi became the Minister for Planning. Orwa Ojode and Peter Doyo became Assistant Ministers. Otieno Kajwang became the Secretary for Legal and Constitutional Affairs in KANU. Moi gave us a government. We were hopeful that Moi was either going to hold our hand or hand over the leadership to Raila Odinga and his team.
Very true. Moi had his own interest, and his interest being Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, because Moi chose to endorse Uhuru Kenyatta rather than support Raila Odinga.
He took the rungu and gave it to Uhuru Kenyatta. It was at the last minute, we had all our hopes that Moi was going to support us. But he gave the rungu to somebody else. Akatuacha mataa. Ilibidi tujipange. Raila Molo first went and talked with Nyachai, Senior Nyachai. So they first discussed, but then he realized the ground was with the other side. So he rushed to Uhuru Park, and in the month of October 2002, he said Kibaki Tosha for an election that was to be held in December of that year. When he went there, he found all the positions had already been negotiated. The vice president was already assigned to Kijana Wamalwa. Senior positions had already been given. Martha Karua, Kiraitu Murungi, all those people, they had already taken positions. We came late in October, supported Mwai Kibaki on the understanding that there was going to be created a position of prime minister. When Kibaki took over power, he was told those guys came too late. They did not help us in any way. They did not contribute to our victory. And that is why we were played. The position of prime minister was not created.
Now, what Senator Kajuang is actually stating is Kibaki decided not to acknowledge Raila Odinga's support, with insinuations that Raila came later on and they were not assured of his support, hence denying Raila the position of the prime minister. Kajuang actually has a point. Ruto is a very tricky politician, and definitely he could play ODM. That is why ODM is very alert and reconsidering the support of William Ruto.
Saying with this long narrative is that even those of us in ODM, we cannot wait for 2027 to make up our minds. We must make up our minds early to avoid the situation we found ourselves in 2002. William Ruto has been good to us. He has given us positions just like Moi gave us. In fact, that time he gave Aduawiti planning. This time he has given us the National Treasury and Economic Planning. And so, we must decide early so that we have clarity, we know what lies ahead of us. We cannot demand too much from William Ruto now because we didn't give him the votes. But if we are to give him the votes in 2027, we must agree on what our community gets.
Very true.
What our community gets is not just about positions. It is not just about a deputy president. It must be anchored on a development agenda that is geared towards resolving the historical marginalization and injustice that this region has gotten.
But Ruto is a very tricky politician. Do you think he can really grant ODM their wishes? Because everybody is speculating that William Ruto is actually using ODM to get his re-election. And if he gets his re-election, then what next? He might just dump ODM just like he dumped Rigathi Gachagua when he helped him achieve the presidency. He was on the next boat of impeachment back to Mount Kenyan region. So definitely, ODM is not sleeping. They are in it to get the benefits. And what are the benefits? They come with the negotiations for the support of William Ruto come 2027. Do you think William Ruto is actually using ODM for his re-election come 2027? And can William Ruto repeat history without returning a hand in future politics, not to support Nyanza region in order to get their presidency after them supporting him now? Politics is getting intense. Do you think Senator Kajuang actually has a point? Trust William Ruto at your own risk. That is exactly what Senator Kajwang is trying to say. Politics, the games of interests and the benefits that comes in return. What do you think? Leave me your views on the comment section. Subscribe to Royal News, the channel where you get all your trending politics. In case it's your first time to listen in, press the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can be fast to receive the news bulletins once we upload them. Until then, JD Ishmaels.